The attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi happened in a nation that has experienced a tidal wave of change in the last year. So as you know, Muammar Gaddafi ruled the nation for 42 years. Here now, a perspective on how Libya has transformed from dictatorship to democracy.
Today, Thursday, 20 of October, we are told that Gaddafi is dead. The Libyan freedom fighters have finally succeeded in drawing the curtain on Gaddafi's crimes.
This revolution started peacefully, demanding the minimum of legitimate rights. But it was faced with violence and excessive violence. So God has put to us what can help us to gain victory.
The result of the voting is as follows. The draft resolution has been adopted unanimously.
We definitely are interested in respecting the will of our people and also the national interests. We trust that the world would also appreciate.
عدد المقاعد 2، عدد المرشحين 42، المحطات المدخلة بنسبة 94%.
الله أكبر.
A free and stable Libya is still in America's interest and security. And we will not turn our back on that. Nor will we rest until those responsible for these attacks are found and brought to justice.
And while we focused on the major political events in the lives of Libyans, we should also point out that there have been dozens of violent incidents involving militants, including a minor explosion at the U.S. consulate in Benghazi in June. No one was hurt there. Mitt Romney's taking some heat for going on the attack last night, even as the events in Benghazi still were developing. In a statement, Romney called the Obama administration's handling of the attacks in Benghazi and Cairo disgraceful, saying they seem to sympathize with the attackers. And just a short time ago, you may have seen it here, a top Romney aide bristled at the suggestion that Romney may have spoken too soon. It couldn't wait?
Well, let me again reiterate. The timeline you suggest was not the same that I just went through.
I'm not asking you about the timeline. It couldn't wait until all of the information was found out about.
Sir, you get to ask the questions. I get to answer them.
Yes, you do, but you didn't answer. I gave you plenty of time. I asked you the question the first time, and you went on and you gave me 3 points. Right. So you were saying it could not wait, yes or no? It couldn't wait.
That's a silly question. Almost anything.
It's not a silly question because now we're looking at you're having to backtrack now. You're having to backtrack now and talk about a statement, and so it's not a silly question. That's why you're here, is to talk about that statement. So go ahead.
I came here to talk about the failed policies in the Middle East, which is what the American people are interested. The failed policies of leading from behind. What you want to do is play a process getcha question. I don't want to play your game. But
I'm not playing a getcha question. All I'm asking you is to answer my question.
His statement was fine. It was acceptable. It was right. Mm-hmm. Did you just hear me?
Yeah,
it was fine. It was acceptable. It was right.
I heard you, but that's not what I asked you. But we'll move on now. I want to read to you what some pretty high-ranking people in your party are saying. Here's what Peggy Noonan saying. A speechwriter for Ronald Reagan said on Fox. I don't feel that Mr. Romney has been doing himself any favors in the past few hours, she said. Sometimes when really bad things happen, when hot things happen, cool words or no words is the way to go. So Peggy Noonan says your guy didn't do himself any favors for jumping out in front of this. What is your reaction?
Well, as someone who served as Deputy Chief of Staff for Ronald Reagan in the White House and later as Assistant to the President for Intergovernmental Affairs in the White House, I think Ronald Reagan would have had no problem with Governor Romney speaking the truth and saying to the American people we shouldn't apologize for our values and we should stand up for what we believe, and that the American people deserve a substantive question and discussion about failed Middle East policies, the failed policies of leading from behind.
That was Romney's senior foreign policy advisor, Richard Williamson, speaking with us just last hour here on CNN. Now to the apparent rift between the U.S. and Israel. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton says there is no deadline against Iran and its nuclear program. So where's the red line here when it comes to a possible military conflict? Next.